Everyone in here probably has heard the name David Hudson, heard Cormay, Lawrence Gardner. Some of you may have even heard some of the garbage came out, Barry Carter's mouth. I have a homeopathic here. It's the homeopathic of superconducting white gold powder. Okay. Laura took a little bit earlier, and I'd like to give her the bottle and allow her to walk around and give each person a little bit of advice. You won't do anything except cause your body to manufacture a very small amount inside. And you will then know what it feels like to have gold of that type in your body. Most of you, in hindsight, will later know why they called in ancient times brother of God. It's an alter a few things, emotional, energetically, how you feel, how you react to it. Now, I want to clarify something before we get started, because Carter's been here. And I started out with Carter's information, and then I went to Hudson. I went to all the Hudson scientists and questioned everybody who could. The first thing that Hudson told me was something that's very important, because there are a lot of people that follow Barry Carter's procedure called the wet method, and a few of the other ones. The first words out of David Hudson's mouth to me regarding it was, "It doesn't work." I know what I was going to watch. According to Hudson's definition of warming, if this little blue circle is warming, it's sitting off all by itself. We might have molecules of water. Okay. Yeah, maybe need a darker, redder. Yeah, sure. I'll try and talk a little louder. How's that? Okay. I want to clarify something, because I know Carter has been up in this area and he's given a misconception. He's spreading something that's not quite right, and it's very Carter. No, not Jim Carter. According to David Hudson's definition on warming, it's supposed to be monoatomic, not attached to anything. Okay? All atoms are single atoms to begin with, but they're usually attached to things. And that's what makes this a little bit different. If we had a water molecule in water, you'd have one oxygen and two hydrogens here. Okay? And they're attached. They can be manipulated by changing the pH, which the wet method tells us to do. The ormate is not affected by manipulation of pH. It will stay in solution. It's not attached to anything. Okay? There was a misconception. Barry Carter was trying to tell everybody that you could knock the ormate down the bottom, have this little white powder down the bottom of your salt water or whatever. And it tells you to take it to around 10.78 pH. Arsenic also precipitates out in that range. Arsenic is 8 times higher in ocean water than we ought to be consuming at minimum. Okay, folks, those precipitates. It takes about 50,000 atoms in a cluster for you to be able to see a little piece of dust in bright sunlight. So what you see down at the bottom is not ormate. Okay, it's clusters, major size clusters of atoms. So that's why I wanted to get a little clarification, because I know Barry Carter has come around and tried to tell you that when you change the pH in solution, you drop this stuff to the bottom. This is the stuff that David Hudson was talking about. It's not. David Hudson made that very, very, very clear in the very beginning of it. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because this processor puts out a totally clear product. There's no white powder sitting down the bottom of the glass. That's because in order for you to see it, you've got to have a lot of atoms there. This stuff spreads out through water. It's got a little energy field around it. They call it a Meissner field. As long as we charge that Meissner field up, nothing will attach to it, because anything that gets close gets pushed away, like bumper cars. We've all played bumper cars at one time or another in an arcade. Okay? And that was the big thing that I wanted to clarify, because I know Barry Carter's been here before, and I figured if you're running with the wrong information, you can't understand what I'm going to tell you. Okay? I spent a lot of time in the laboratory and spent a lot of time going around talking to people who actually did the work before I started doing my work. And then I went to the laboratory 7 days a week, 20 hours a day, and stayed there until I learned. Okay? So that little part is something so that you'll know the difference. Okay? These precipitates are not safe. At least muscle test them to see whether or not you ought to consume it first. Okay? You're more welcome to muscle test this water. You can use all of your tests in any way, shape, or form that you want to. You can take any laboratory you want to. Laboratories in the United States are not set up to be able to detect ormate. They're going to tell you it's a substantially pure water with some metal ions in it, maybe. Okay, metal ions are another name for ormate. I don't know why people want to change the name of things all the time, but they do that, and they've done it through history. And it keeps us a little ignorant because we don't know what they changed the name to some of the time. Okay? I prefer a simpler name. I call them the elements of life. Because without them, life on this planet is not possible. Okay? Now, these units are rather unique in that this is the executive model. This is an executive 100 friends had quite a while to brought it so that some people could sample water. And it's one of our portable units. It's very, very user friendly. This is the House Understand counter model, and it has what's called a portability option, which basically gives you 4 quick disconnect fittings. Then you take it out and use it as a portable unit and hook it up. Hotels, motels, water faucets, whatever, as you go. And it gives you 2 spouts. One of them goes above your sink. You attach it to the top of the sink so you can dispense the product. Anybody got glass? Basically, we turn the thing on anymore. So just dispense a little product here, and you get straight. Okay. When running in portable mode, you use this other faucet instead. Okay. Now, these water processors not only concentrate the ormate that's in the water, but they are selective. They only concentrate the superconducting ormate. Guess what? That's one that's valuable to us. That's the ones that have spiritual benefits and most of the health benefits. Okay. They are also capable and do it daily, year after year. They will take out more contaminants out of the water than any other technology on the planet. The cheapest model we have exceeds about 400% cleaner water than a standard reverse osmosis unit. This unit here is about 40 times pure for removal of harmful contaminants. We have certified reductions on chemicals like chlorine and fluoride and what have you. It's all been tested. Biological contaminants, you won't find any bacteria in this water, no viruses, no cysts, or anything else that comes out of the final product. We figured if we were going to give you concentrated ormate and water, that's what we were going to give you. And we weren't going to have any other garbage in there. Because not only is water liquid crystal, not only are we 75% water on the average, but we need good water in our bodies. And the ideal carrier for the ormate into the body is water. If you ever had the real superconducting gold, it runs away from your hand. Your body puts out a sufficient enough field of energy that you can't reach out and grab it unless it's in a glass of water. Okay? I got a laboratory and have it run around to the other side of the test tube. I've tried to get close enough where I could get my finger on a little bit of it so I could put it somewhere and stuff will run away from me. Okay? This is what Hudson was talking about. Nobody's selling that stuff though. I'm going to tell you why. It is way too powerful for most people. I don't care where you are at, how ready you think you are. I was there and I thought I was super ready and I tried some with the Miraculewater fully charged. It took the hue or the nada sound from its low background that it had been basically my whole life to a volume that was similar to being in the middle of a football stadium with 70,000 fans cheering all at the same time. Okay? Yes. From a few milligrams. Okay? That is how powerful it can be. You're going out there and you're buying grams of some powder and it ain't doing that, you know you got it in there. Okay? Everybody got, was able to sample it. Oh, did you take it around there? Yes. Okay. Every person in there will probably notice a small change. You're going to feel a little happier. You're going to feel a little nicer. That's part of the effect you get. You probably won't get a big boost in the nada sound out of homeopathic. Because the miser feels not fully charged. But you will get a change in frame of mind. And it does start to open the third eye. It does start to work on the heart chakra. Okay? And gold is the big step that most people are interested in because it's a spiritual step. Okay? It's the first big spiritual step. There are others beyond this. Anybody gets past gold 100%, come to me and I'll set you up with what's next. Okay? But now we are going to go with what you can't play with right now, so I'm not going to teach you. Okay? I just say that I know what's next and I'll take care of that when that arises. Now, these units are all basically totally self-contained. You don't have to do anything except change filters periodically. The first three filters that are down the bottom here, these first three cartridges down there, you replace those. You never have to replace anything in the secondary side of the system. Not as long as you get to those before you just totally exhaust them. Okay.
How long does that take?
That will vary depending upon how much garbage you have in the water that you're running and how much water you're running through it. Okay? And there's also another variable, how much water pressure you have. The more water pressure you have, the more plugged up your filters can get and still flow the water through them. These units must have water pressure. The only thing other than water pressure they require is water. They prefer that it be around 76 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's colder, it will slow it down. And the reason it slows it down is because water molecules get bigger as they get colder, and physical substances get smaller. Guess what? The pores through the filters get smaller, the molecules get bigger, and it requires more pressure to push the water through. Okay? Up here, wintertime, you need a 100 gallon per day unit if you want to produce a few gallons if you only have like 35 to 40 psi water pressure. Because the units are not made to run at low water pressure and not made to run on real cold water. Okay? If you operate one where we rate them at 80 psi and at 76 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's a machine that's rated for 100 gallons per day, they will normally put out about 110 on the average. We rate the gallons a little bit, but we rate a certain pressure and temperature, and that's something that's important because you have to take that into consideration. If you're on a well and you only have 30 psi water pressure, you're going to have to boost your pressure regulator up to get this unit so that when it's operating, it's out of the red zone. There's a little gauge here. Most people can't see it, probably front row can. There's a red area, and that designates low pressure. You're out of the operating zone on pressure. They'll tell you when your filters need to be replaced because the gauge will get down into the red. They'll tell you if you hook it up to a water source where you don't have enough pressure. When the unit is not operating, it's finished, it's making its water, but it's still hooked up to water pressure, the gauge will then change from its internal operating pressure to the full line pressure. If you get a reduction of about 2 hours on the clock, that's normal. Change between internal operating and full line pressure. There'll be a little window of the gauge there. The reason I'm explaining this is because you are in a cold country. It's much easier if I explain this and you understand that, hey, I hooked it up and it's in the red zone. Gee, Christmas, I got to raise the water pressure. It saves us a whole lot of explanations over the phone. I can explain to everybody all at the same time. We've tried to write this out. I've got it 20 places on the website. People still ignore it, but if I talk to them, I know you've heard me, otherwise you have selective hearing. Anybody in here ever experienced selective hearing? Was that a no? Okay. I think everybody in here has experienced it once or twice. And I'm not the only person there. The processors are designed to last, and last. We don't put any parts in here that we can find something made better somewhere. These pieces, these fittings, even wholesale buying 10,000 of these dang little things at a time, they still cost me about $3 or $4 a piece. I buy some cheap wood for about 10 cents. It lasts long, not as good quality, and bleach toxins in water. Construction is polypropylene, polyethylene, basically the only two plastics that don't have the BPA nasty chemical in them, that don't break down and don't bleach toxins in the water. Now, we should say bleach an absolute minimal amount of toxins in water, because everything's going to have some contaminants. I don't care whether it's glass, stainless steel, whatever. But we try to pick what was durable and what was the best material we could put it together with. Okay. There are various different things. I encourage anybody to come by later, put their hand up around this area. There's a primary energy device sitting in the bottom of the stage. Okay. And it's running continuously on 0-point power. You can feel the energy. About, I guess, 78% of people can feel no problem. It's right here. Same place on this one. Okay. There's a charging unit here that charges the Meissner field on normally. Really unique thing. If we don't charge the Meissner field up, fully charge it on the Orman, we don't get the full benefits. Those full benefits include overturning the governors built in the DNA. Okay. And I don't know how many people want to overturn the governors built in their DNA and release a few of their limitations. Okay. These are made to dispense a product that enables you to deal with the changes. Okay? Because we can't take you from a level 400 consciousness or 500 or 200 to 1,000 overnight and expect really good results. It doesn't work that way. Most of us need to take things step by step. We go up a set of stairs one step at a time. Some of us will jump 2 steps or 3 steps once in a while. But we generally go up step by step. Okay? When I consume white gold powder full of charge, even though it's a few milligrams, it made me jump an awful lot of floors. It wasn't very easy, it wasn't very comfortable. Regardless of how ready I thought I was, I found out I wasn't. Okay? It greatly increased my ability to manipulate the reality around me. And I found negative thoughts would manifest way too fast. Thoughts manifest too. But let me tell you, there's a little funny negative thought. You're going down the highway, maybe it's 55-mile-an-hour zone, you're doing 65 for all the rest of traffic, right? Not thinking anything. Glance in your rearview mirror, and back there is a highway patrol. Most of us have the first thought is he going to pull me over? I'm going too fast. Oh my goodness. Wrong thought.